Hey, what's up with it, Hood News peeps? Back again. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. Well, we've got the Hood News Unfiltered with your girl Grizzy, and we've got my friend Hector here. What's up, Hector?
Hey, Grizzy, I'm so glad to be here. We got Texans here today.
Yes!
Gonna play today. We're gonna whoop up on those Browns.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Hey, and speaking of Texans, CJ Stroud.
That is the vessel. That's like this guy is amazing. Hector, have you been watching these games?
I've watched every game this season, and this is the first time in a long time I've been involved attached to the Texans.
Yeah.
But every week I see something spectacular, and I almost see like it's a birth of a superstar. He is our Michael Jordan.
Yes, he is great, and the morale for fans is just lifted. I mean, we're having a good time. It's a great time to be a Texans fan.
Yeah, and they're breaking records as far as rookie quarterback, first-time head coach, doing incredible things this year. I was doing some research on CJ Stroud and watching a video too as well. By the way, the video is going to be available on Grizzy'sHoodNews.com. Make sure you go there. But there is a story about CJ Stroud that he actually lived in a warehouse while he was in high school, and he couldn't afford to get training sessions with those professional coaches and trainers, and he learned off watching YouTube.
Oh, amazing!
But just like what you said, he's just a humble person, and just seeing what they are. I see the national news and national sports all surrounding the Texans right now, but just so much to be proud of this team from going from one of the worst teams in the league to now with the up and coming, and I would say pretty soon, if not this year. But I believe in my Texans, Super Bowl contenders.
Woohoo! Yes, most definitely. Well, we've got a great show ahead of us, Hector. Man, I can't wait to show the Hood News peeps and you guys what we've got going on in the hood. All right, here at the Hood News, we always have important messages, and we do like to make examples out of situations that happen to anybody. But in this situation, we have something that we never really see. Usually people on their mugshots tend to have a very worn face, or they're scorned.
Some crying.
Yeah, some crying. But in this situation, Hector, we've got a guy with a big smile.
Oh, man, this guy he's got a Kool-Aid smile.
Yeah, for real. So shout out to Constable Kenneth Rowdy Hayden out of Precinct 4, Montgomery County.
Hey, props to the people who are out there watching Montgomery County. I know you're tuning in from Conroe, Woodlands. You guys are tuning in. Appreciate you guys and appreciate the constables out there.
Yeah, they don't play around in that county, and they pulled this guy over. And what I see underneath is the charge, DWI third or more.
Third charge of DWI. We have some comments here, Grizz. We got Jose Lopez mentioned on Facebook. It says, "That's mi tío Tony. He's happy because he'd rather spend a night in jail than come home to my tia."
Oh, my goodness. The comments. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Jose's always like, if you follow the Hood News, Jose Lopez always has a great commentary.
By the way, if you're now commenting on Hood News on Facebook, you might just be shown on the TV show. So watch what you say. Val says he probably thought he was holding a Texas Lotto check.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it was crazy. But you know what? Also, Hector, a lot of people were angry, too. Like the audacity of somebody, like multiple times. And what we want to send out is the message, hey, we're watching. Get a ride. Don't let that pride get to you, because you might find yourself, holding up that little mugshot tablet with all your info. All right, Hector. So this story is a little strange. I mean, we still don't have all the details just yet. This is alleged. So we have a person who was accused by a woman in Houston, Southeast Houston, to have kidnapped her and held her hostage here in Houston, Texas. So we've got this guy named Lee Carter. And we showed up on the 5th in Southeast Houston. HPD patrol was out there at the scene. We got there just in the nick of time to cover this and hear a media briefing by them, where they tell us that they were pretty much doing a welfare check on a lady who had allegedly already been kidnapped by this Lee Carter individual.
And he's also a rapper, right?
Yes, this is where the story gets more different. This is just when it gets strange. Yeah, it's that plot twist. So we get out there, we cover this story, and I started getting a bunch of peeps reaching out, and they were telling me, hey, do you know whose house you just stood outside? I'm like, no, not at all. They're like, Lee Carter is Viper the rapper. So when we look up this guy, we found out that this guy is like some sort of meme / internet sensation. And he's got the weirdest following. It's very strange.
Yeah, we were just looking at his TikTok,
Yes.
his Instagram. He has a lot of interesting videos that are out there.
Yeah.
And this is making news around the world. I see
Around the world.
England, London, and Boston newspapers are covering the story.
Yeah.
But that's quite interesting what's happened down in southeast Houston, you said?
Yeah, Southeast Houston. He went to court recently, and it's just a case where he was accused of kidnapping a woman. She was led out of the hospital, given back to him.
Wow.
And they were doing a welfare check. The woman has not been found yet.
Oh.
Yeah, the TV was left on. They found a dog, and now HPD is trying to find her.
Oh,
so we
man.
don't know. All this time, supposedly, allegedly, according to different people that live in the area, he might have been having her all this time. So that's just when the story gets crazy, the plot thickens further.
All right, Grizzy. So, what's really cool about Hood News is that, man, we go everywhere. We're all around town.
Yes.
And we're starting a new segment.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited about this. Tell us.
It's H-Town Bites. So this week, we got this feature with Little Mo's Barbecue up in North Houston.
Look, if you ain't ever tried Lil Mo's, you need to go find out, man, because the food is delicious. It's all things H-Town. It'll satisfy. He's got a little bit of everything to satisfy everyone's palates.
No, the team they were out there this past Saturday, and then they said the food was phenomenal. Look at that.
Wow. What is that? Like Cheeto boudin balls?
Boudin balls, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Chicken fried steak, baked potatoes.
Man, I'll have to try
crawfish,
that.
baked potatoes.
Yes, that's our friend. He's a Hood News peep too. Big supporter of the Hood News. Yeah, and it is everything. Like, it's worth every penny, and the servings, like, you can definitely feed like your family.
Yeah, so these guys, Little Mo's, are out there up on North Houston, North Sam Houston Parkway. Check them out. If you're hungry, looking for grub, follow us on Grizzy'sHoodNews.com. Look up H-Town Bites, and you'll find the latest food.
All right, so we've got another segment, which has been around for quite some time, and we're very effective, Hector. Like, we have
I've seen it.
A good track record. So this is a segment we call Hood Collections. Unfortunately, a lot of local business owners, and I don't know where or when this might have started, but we started seeing a trend where people were not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you go do a job, contractors, cooks, caterers, wedding planners, like, these people were suffering because people were not paying their tabs, their bills, or running out, dine and dash.
And these are people who are just looking, they're working for a living. They're doing the honest thing.
Yeah.
They have families to feed, and they're depending on this money to pay the bills and put food on the table.
Local businesses are a staple to our community, and we need to protect them. So one thing I decided to do was start making some friendly phone calls to do some collections. And yeah, right here, I had some time. I'm like, you know what? I got some time today. A young man reached out saying, hey, this guy owes me some money. He paid me some, but not all. So we got him on the phone, and we got to hear the other person's side of the story. And he kind of switched up the beat on me a little bit. I was not expecting that.
All right, Grizzy, we have some comments here. People were talking about just live feed of what's going on. John says, hanging up on you is a true sign of guilt.
Oh, yeah, he hung up on me. This guy, gave me a weird story that didn't coincide with the same stuff the gentleman was saying. And when he saw that we were dancing in circles, he decided to hang up. I was like, whoa.
Bria
what else
says,
they say?
Yeah, Bria says, it's sad that people think it's okay to rip them off. They're honest, hardworking people out here trying to feed their families, and not to mention we are in hard times.
Yes, we are.
Very
Yes,
true,
we are.
very true. And then finally, Abby says, I'm hiding in my bathroom from my kids so I can watch this in peace.
Hey, yeah, sometimes, you gotta do that. You gotta find that moment so you can enjoy the Hood News and get the tea, the scoop.
One I'll tell you right now, my wife, Eva, she's, shout out to Eva, by the way.
Hey, Eva.
I'll be at 2 a.m. I'll be up, and I'll just wake up for no reason. I turn around and she has you live at 2 a.m.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff going on for the night owls, the daytime peeps. Hood News is round the clock, and we're very proud of that.
And you love doing collections, right?
Oh, I love it. Absolutely. Yeah. Because I feel like, if anything, we're going to be a voice for the underdog. And sometimes the underdog is the business owner just trying to get paid.
Right. It's already tough as it is. And then people are out there taking advantage of these people who are just trying to make ends meet.
Yeah. And nobody wants to be featured on the Hood News. So 9 times out of 10, the collections are paid in full.
Pay your bills, pay your dues, because if you don't,
you're going to be on the Hood News. Hector, yesterday I got a message from someone and I was really alarmed. You know, every day we post 2 or 3 missing people. You know, it's a daily thing. We're constantly posting. As many as we get, that's what we'll put out. So one request came in and it was a repeat request from something we shared a few months ago. A young lady named Jersey White, 15 years old. We're going to put her picture up. 15-year-old Jersey White went missing back in June 12th. Back on June 12th, she went missing, and she's not been found yet.
And she's from Conroe, Texas. Right?
Out of Conroe, Texas.
Yeah, Conroe. And so missing since June.
Since June. And there have been sightings of her. They've seen her off of South Main, and then she's been spotted possibly in Galveston and some other surrounding areas. And it's really alarming because it's believed that she's endangered.
Wow.
Yes.
And, you know, the city, there's so many missing children and missing people out here. And unfortunately, we see a lot of these children that are become victims of the trade that's out there.
Yeah, the trafficking. There are sports events. There are things that happen sometimes that draw in huge crowds. And we want to, you know, not be that type of city. We want to do better. We really need to be better about these kind of things and address them.
Yeah, and I saw that last night or the night before you had a live broadcast on this as well, and you were talking about it. It was actually going viral. We had quite a few thousand people following. In fact, Orlando, she says prayers goes out to her family for her to return home safely. Doris says, what an unimaginable heartache for those that love her. You know, this is one of many.
Yes.
And we want to bring, as here at Hood News, we want to bring light to this, and so that we could change these things and help get these kids found.
Exactly.
Obviously, I have a 15-year-old. I have 4 kids, and I have a 15-year-old myself. I could not imagine the heartache of missing a child or that's got. And you know, these kids, they get caught up into certain things, or they trust the wrong people and they get the wrong friends. That's why your friendships and who you hang out with, you've got to be very careful who you surround yourself with.
And I always tell parents, you've got to monitor their activities on the phone. You've got to look at their tablets. It's okay to be nosy. It's okay to go through your child's belongings. It's okay, because we are their best friends. No one else is their best friends. We are the greatest friends that a child can ever have is their parents. So we got to keep that in mind. And I'm praying for her safe return. It's very unfortunate, especially when there have been sightings of her. She's out there, and it's a rabbit hole for these parents to try to recover their children and get them back. And then there's always that chance that once they get the child will leave again, because by then there's already something going on in their minds, and they've been kind of brainwashed, I want to say. You know, these people, these captors, they know what they're doing. They groom our children, and that is the message that we have. Leave our children alone. And
if you're watching this, if you have any information, if you've seen this sweet, beautiful girl, Jersey White, if you have any know-abouts, any tips, would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you call the Conroe Police Department, 936-522-3200. Let's go out and let's find Jersey White. Let's bring her back home where she is loved and where she is missed. All right, Grizzy. So, you know, I was looking at the live traffic cameras that we have on Grizzy'sHoodNews.com, and there is traffic all the time in Houston. A lot of times it's because of the car accidents that we have all around town, and whether it's an 18-wheeler accident, a fender bender, or heck, somebody just runs into debris that's in the middle of the road that belongs to a company. But guess what? We have an advocate that's ready to fight for justice for our viewers, and that is the Hollingsworth Law Firm. Steve Hollingsworth is ready to fight for you. So whether if you've been in a car accident, 18-wheeler accident, or whatever it may be, the Hollingsworth Law Firm is ready to fight for you. Look them up online, hollingsworthlawfirm.com, or call them up. You don't have to pay until you win.
All right. So one of the biggest cases before we ended the year was missing pregnant woman, Savanah Soto.
Yeah, I saw this was making world news.
All the way around the world. We came into contact with it when some of her family members reached out asking for us to share that she had been missing.
Right.
And she was pregnant. What made this even more urgent, Hector, was the fact that this woman was waiting to, she was going to have her labor induced.
The next day.
The next day or the day of. And her mom, that was part of the message. Mom was very concerned for her well-being. She's like, hey, we were supposed to go together to go get this labor induced. I was going to go with them. And so she, along with the child's father, Matthew Guerra, they came up missing, and it was just the three of them gone, like just no trace. No one knew anything.
Right.
So here we are, like we flash forward a few days later, an arrest was made. And in something that we've never seen before, and moves that we've never seen before, San Antonio PD decided to
showcase them.
Yeah.
I guess I remember watching this live on the stream that you had, Grizzy, out that night. They had thousands of people watching. In fact, we have over 225,000 people that were watching this.
So this was unexpected. The social media, we had a lot of detectives. People were showing footage, surveillance videos. Whenever San Antonio PD did release persons of interest in the case, they did not give much information.
Right.
They were already, doing all they could. Thousands of tips were coming in. It's wild. That stuff and it's really interesting how all this went about, like how the response from the people. I myself was obsessed. Like,
right.
I wanted to know who would do such a thing when they were found deceased, because at first everyone thought maybe Matthew had done something to her. But when it was discovered that all three were deceased together and left in the car, even more like the anger, the frustration of the people came about.
Right. And I signed up for like discussion groups, Facebook groups. It was all over TikTok.
All over.
People were doing live psychic readings on TikTok about the case.
Some were accurate, by the way, very accurate. You know who you are. And so, it was really crazy. So San Antonio PD stated they had suspects and that they were going to walk them out.
Right.
And they did. As you guys see here in this footage, they walked these guys out. We've got Ramon. This is a father and son duo. Ramon Preciado and his son Christopher Preciado. They've been charged, with charges in connection to the murders. Christopher Preciado has been charged with 2 capital murders, and the father also charged with helping him with whatever he did
with the corpse and stuff like that. But this is incredibly sad, and I remember seeing this live here on Hood News while it was happening, and it was kind of confusing because so many cameras that were all around. Again, the world was watching this. This was on morning news. It was, everybody was captivated by this incident.
Yeah.
What did you learn from this? As far as like, what was was there any reasons, or like what was it that had happened?
We really don't know. Like, he's saying one thing, but can you really believe someone that wasn't forthcoming?
Right.
If the things that he said would have been true or are to be true, why not come forward and say, hey, this happened? Instead, you go hide. And it's just one of those things we won't know just yet, and I hope that that both families get answers.
And get some closure in this.
Yes.
And the thing is that there's people also forget, the news media sometimes forgets too, that there was a third person that was hurt.
The
too,
baby.
Baby Fabian, that was scheduled to be induced the next day after they were, or the day of, or the next day.
Yes, full term baby, overdue, ready to be out into the world. We are in a state where you can't have an abortion.
Right.
And this is a baby. This is a life. So I'm wondering if they're going to have that same energy with these charges. So this is something we're definitely watching. And our prayers go out to the families of the victims. We just had breaking news. Like, Hector and I, we had to regroup and come back to this because we were already done filming this episode. But we just got breaking news.
Fresh off the presses, San Antonio made a third arrest in the Savanah Soto case there in San Antonio. They did a perp walk. SAPD, congrats to them. Props to SAPD for getting these people off the streets.
Yeah, so Mirta Romanos, she is a third person charged with the following. She's got
3 charges.
3 charges.
Just 3 charges.
3 charges. So she's got
tampering with evidence.
Yeah. Altering of corpse, abuse of corpse, and like you said, the tampering with evidence.
3 charges there. They picked her up. Obviously, she has her pajamas on. Not sure if that was at 6 a.m. or they picked her up just at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
The briefing, they mentioned that she did not cooperate. No one was willing to give her up either. Like, they didn't mention Chris Preciado nor Ramon, the father's son, that were already charged previously. They did not give her up. They were not going to say anything.
It's crazy to see how this is continuing to grow, and it's not. Hopefully, this is it. So hopefully, there's not too many more people involved in this. Hopefully the bad guys, all of them been caught.
Yeah, behind bars, definitely. So on a lighter note, Hector, this is another segment we have, and we're known for the come on downs.
I've seen it.
Yes, the come on downs. Like you do the crime, get ready. Every crime has a price.
That's right.
Woo!
And you're going to be, the price is being right here.
Yeah, for real.
On Hood News.
So this story comes straight out of Cyprus. Shout out to all our Cyprus peeps, wonderful community. They stick together, and unfortunately, one straight away.
Oh, tell us what happened here.
So we have a female. She walks into a nail salon, and she decides she wants to get all these services done. Well, she got a pedicure. You know, can you imagine working on somebody's feet?
Yeah.
You know, her hooves in this case. and this lady, when it's time to pay the bill, she I guess she doesn't know that there are cameras everywhere. She says, no, I didn't get this done. I didn't get this done. I didn't get a pedicure done. And we see this here. Now, I will tell you guys, I've got longer version of the video, and she did. I mean, they took their time. They took care of her toes. Well,
she's in a rush to get out of there.
Yeah, she rushed out after the people tried to negotiate with her. They were so kind. They were willing to work with her. She still walks out, backs up. She backs her Jeep up. A pizza worker. That caddy right there. That's a pizza worker.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, they're probably looking for their route, and this lady backs into them. She I don't even know where her backup camera was. Like, was she not looking? What happened?
Her toes are more important.
Yeah. Man. Hey, you know, like, that's one thing. We all want to pamper ourselves. We want to feel good. But part of that process is you got to pay to, you know, you can't just walk out on tabs.
Not only that, this guy's out working. And
Yeah.
she ran into him and probably scratched up in his car pretty well.
We don't know what happened with that, if she stuck around to exchange info. I don't know. By the time that the peep went back in, came back out, they said that they were both gone. So who knows? We did, through the power of social media, we were able to identify her, but we sure did do a come on down.
Yeah, the prices.
Yeah, your crime has a price.
Yeah, and here we got some comments here on Facebook. Cindy says, she's way in deep now. A simple pedicure there is like $35-$50.
Yep.
They even try to negotiate with her. And she runs, and now she's got an even bigger tab. Idalia, she says, and now she will never get her toes done again.
Yeah. And you know what? I love Billy Mason's comment. Billy says, love this. I tell my grandkids not to do crazy stuff because they will end up on Grizzy's page or now her TV program.
And there she is.
Yeah, here we are. I did promise the peeps because they wanted to see this.
And so she was caught.
Yeah. So there was a moment where I'm like, wait a minute. When they gave me the name, it sounds familiar to me, right? And I'm like, okay, let me check through my messenger, because there is a possibility. Houston is so big, but it's so small at the same time. So I checked my messages when somebody sent her profile and a screenshot, Google searches. I had all kinds of images coming in. So whenever I saw, and I'm like, okay, let me see if this lady has reached out to me. Sure enough, she was complaining about her HOA and yellow water coming out of faucets, toilets, bathtubs. And I'm like, lady, I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, did you really just walk out on this pedicure? And she didn't say anything. I said, you know, you're going to be on the come on down, right? And that's when I got blocked.
Oh,
she blocked me. That was confirmation. But yeah, I had a lot of people. Hey, Houston is a huge city, but when you're out here doing crazy stuff, it becomes a very, very small community.
So Grizzy, it was it was a great episode, and thanks for everybody for watching. Grizzy, you got any last things to say?
These are going to get better and better. We're working on them. I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Props to CW for allowing us to showcase this program here on CW. Yep. Make sure you tune into CW.
Yeah, my brothers and sisters from Brand Nation also, thanks for believing, and here we are.
And we're just getting started.
Yep.
And if you're watching right now, we're going to be out, Grizzy, guess what? Next Saturday at 12 o'clock. We're going to be at Liberty Tax Services.
Yes, because it's that time, y'all.
Yeah, it's time to do
It's
taxes.
that
Time for the
Yep.
refund.
Yep.
So we're going to be out there interviewing out there at Liberty Tax Services up there in spring. For more information, make sure you come out and join us. We'll be out there broadcasting live next Saturday there. But for more information, go to Grizzy'sHoodNews.com for more information on that live broadcast. So until then, we'll see you next week. And don't forget, if it's real news,
It's Hood News.